Hey everybody, so these are our practice problems for September 30th. So for number 3, I know I don't have the whole question right now, just to save myself some time. But if you look at your worksheet, it says, what will we do with this expression, 8 parentheses 7 plus 2? So according to our distributive property, we would distribute this out to both of them. So there are two ways we could do this. So then this just means 8 times 7, which is 56, plus 8 times 2, which is 16, and that'll equal to 72. But you could also write it out as parentheses 8 times 7 plus 8 times 2, which is still the exact same thing, just an extra step added in to write it out, equaling 72. Next, we have number 4, and I'll leave that right there just so you guys can keep looking at that. And number 4 is just asking what expression would 4 parentheses 4 plus 3 be equal to? And so we have 4 different options, but I'm just going to write it out for us just to show us what it would look like. So remember, we distribute with the distributive property, multiplying them both. So I'm going to make 2 parentheses because I know that I have 2 multiplication problems with adding in the middle. So I have 4 times 4 plus 4 times 3. And that one is correct. The option that goes with is B. C would not be correct because it's adding when we should be multiplying. And I'm just writing that out just so you guys can see that. So it's adding when we should be multiplying. And then D is subtracting. All right, next we're going to number 12. And as you can see in your notes, there's on your worksheet thing, it also talks about, it also adds another note just so we don't get confused for number 5. So it says we can distribute more than just numbers. When we use the distributive property, we also must distribute the negative signs. So rules for the negatives. A negative number multiplied by a negative number is a positive. So a negative times a negative equals a positive. A positive number multiplied by a positive number is a positive. So when the two numbers are the same, they get along. A negative number multiplied by a positive number is equal to a negative number. So when the two numbers have different signs, they fight. So for number 5, we have the negative outside of the parentheses of 12 plus 3. So just like how we did with the 4 and the 8 and the examples above, we're going to distribute the negative. So then that would just turn into negative 12 minus 3, because we had a negative times a positive, which equals a negative, and then a negative times a positive, which would be a negative. And whenever we have just this negative sign, you can also think of it as there being an invisible 1 there. And then we're just doing the same thing. So negative 12 minus 3 is equal to negative 15. We could also do it as we do the 12 plus 3 first before we even distribute it, which would be 15. And then we can distribute the negative 1. So then that would just equal negative 15, because negative 1 times 15, positive 15, is negative 15. Same thing with number 6. Excuse me. We'll distribute the negative, and we can act like there's a negative 1 there. So negative 1 times positive 9 is negative 9. Negative 1 times positive 3 is, negative 1 times positive 3 is negative 3. So we have negative 9 minus 3, which is equal to negative 12. And that gives us our option of A. Or another way we can do this is do our parentheses first, then distribute our negative. So negative 1 times 12 equals negative 12. Still option A. All right, next we have number 7. So with number 7, we're still going to distribute the 4. And there's something different here because we have a negative here. So we're going to keep these the negatives together. And even in the worksheet, it says hint. In this situation, because subtracting is just adding a negative, you would not distribute a 4, you would distribute a negative 4. So we still have 9. And then negative 4 times 3 is 12, so we're going to subtract 12. And then negative 4 times 2 is 8, negative 8, so we're going to subtract 8. 9 minus 12 is negative 3. And then minus 8. I just did this part first just to make it easier for myself. And then negative 3 minus 8 is negative 11. The distributive property is very helpful for solving problems with simpler answers. Simpler, smaller problem. Finally, number 8. So number 8 is asking what expressions are equal to negative 3 minus 2 times negative 2 minus 4. So just to make this a little prettier to look at, I'm going to distribute this negative 2 to the other negative 2. So we still have negative 3, and then negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4 minus 4. So that's already giving us option C. I'm going to look at the other options because this can also be written a different way. We can also, this is also equal to negative 3 minus negative 4 minus 4. Remember that when we subtract a negative, 2 negatives will cancel out and make a positive. So this is still the same as this one. So this is option C. So, this is option A. Sorry about that. So then our answers for number 8 is C and A.